This is a big, big story in fashion. And this is the fact that H&M is planning to use AI clones of its human models. And of course, as you can imagine, everyone in fashion is up in arms. And rightfully so. I mean, this could lead to so many issues in H&M. This could lead to so many issues in the fashion industry. I mean, what this reminded me of when this news came out, because this news came out quite a while ago. When this news came out, I was thinking about there's this episode of Black Mirror. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Oh, Joan is Awful is what it's called, right? And it's this episode where an actress's life is basically, sorry, a person's life is reenacted on a TV screen and they have no control over what's being reenacted because there's some quantum computer that once an actress signs away their rights, they own the rights to everyone's image and they can use that person's image to create movies, films, commercials of that person any which way that they please. They can, make you do things that you probably wouldn't do, make you say things that you inherently disagree with. I was like, what kind of dystopian world are we living in? Why is it that Black Mirror is able to predict the future so accurately? It's quite scary, actually. So it's like we're literally living or about to enter into an episode of Black Mirror. This is absolutely insane. It could lead to models losing their jobs because you just use AI instead. That also voids the need for a photographer because AI is creating the picture. That means you won't need makeup artists. So it just almost damages the whole ecosystem and it limits creativity across the board. Now, of course, someone is saying, please tell me the models are getting royalties. So funny enough, they are saying that, they will actually give the models that they clone some of the royalties for the campaigns. And they're also saying that the models will have the rights to their digital replicas. But that's now. I'm so sure, knowing that, companies don't really care about human rights for the most part. Eventually, they're going to find a loophole when they start to decide that, it's costing us too much to give the models the rights to their own clones. How can we take the rights away from the models so that they don't have the rights to their own image? I know we're going to reach that point eventually. So for now, the models still own the rights to their clones, but hold your horses, guys, because I don't think that this will be, something that will be the same case, maybe 5 to 10 years from now. So yeah, absolutely insane story. They've just got to remix the face. And I totally agree with what you guys are saying. This will only get worse down the line. Exactly what I was thinking. The exact thought that's on my mind. And it's also crazy because H&M has the resources to do that, right? H&M is one of the largest clothing retailers in the world. So if anyone has the power, the pull, the money to take the rights away from models that, don't have access to the crazy legal teams that H&M has at its disposal, it would be H&M that could exploit those things. And the average fast fashion consumer won't care or notice, which is sad, to be honest. I think it's still noticeable for now when you have like an AI campaign. I remember there was a time when people were making these fake AI, campaigns, and it was a big story in fashion. This is an article via BOF where they have some of the campaigns that made the rounds on social media. These are some of the images. This is the Prada campaign with everyone wearing tailoring from a shot from a high vantage point. You have a Gucci AI campaign. You have another campaign for Gucci. You have a campaign for Miu Miu. There's one for Hermes with all the silk scarves all tied around the model's face. And then you have a Loro Piana campaign. But some of these campaigns, like the Loro Piana one, looks better. This as one looks very, very AI. It looks quite obviously AI, to be honest. So I think AI just needs to improve over time, but it will get to a point where if we're not careful as people and as a society, we will genuinely get to the point where we won't be able to differentiate between an AI campaign and a normal campaign. But yeah, it is very categorically immoral. I totally agree. I totally agree. The death of the art, exactly that. And I saw a YouTube video, I'll share this YouTube video with you guys, of someone who was talking, I think his channel was around like this AI software. And he was talking about a way that you can use AI models for your e-commerce images. So you no longer have to like hire a model for your e-commerce. You can just, do it the AI way. So I'll share this video with you guys and then I'll react to it in real time.
The future of fashion is here. Just imagine an AI that showcases your clothing brands on stunning models without the need of expensive photo shoot. You don't need to hire the model or agencies or editing teams. Just upload the photo of your clothing design and let the AI do the rest of the things. So today I'll show that tool that does everything in fraction of time, really inexpensive way. The tool name is Ling AI. So first go to the Ling AI website, click on sign.
Yeah, so that's the software. It's Kling AI that people are using to basically, instead of paying for models or doing a shoot for e-commerce, you just upload an image of your garment as a flat and then you upload it and it superimposes it onto an AI model, and then you can turn those into your e-commerce images.
Sign up and log in using your Google account. Then click on AI image section. Here you will find two options, text to image and AI virtual try on. To generate AI model, click on AI
Let
model.
me skip because we're not trying to go through the tutorial. I just want to show you guys what it looks like when they use the AI models. So as you can see, it still looks obviously AI. And if you run like any serious brand, you cannot have models look like that AI. It just looks weird. It doesn't look, people will just be like, what the hell? So I think that a lot of improvements need to be made in terms of like the graphics and how realistic AI looks. You can see here, it just looks so obviously AI. It looks quite annoying, to be honest. But as it improves, I think that's a disaster for modeling as an industry, to be honest. And Elle says, I can understand this from the standpoint of a small business just getting off the ground, though. I totally agree, because probably you can't afford to do all these like shoots for the models and stuff. But I just think, what does it say for overall creativity? And then what happens when these things get out of hand? Because one thing about me, call me a pessimist, but I don't like too much technology doing everything, because I always feel like, what happens when the technology gets smarter than us? Are we going to be in a movie where all the AI starts killing us one by one? Or that was another episode of Black Mirror, by the way. So I don't like us deferring to technology for absolutely everything in life. I think we need to, actually personally do things ourselves sometimes.
Isn't the look stunning?
No, it doesn't look stunning, but it might do soon. But it doesn't look as stunning as maybe he thinks it does. It very obviously looks like AI. Like, very clearly looks like AI. Let me just see if he puts any other outfit on the model. So yeah, once again, he superimposes two different t-shirts, a white t-shirt and a pink t-shirt onto the models. But yeah, it doesn't look great, but we'll see how this looks in 5 to 10 years. Okay, says, honestly, to the untrained eye, it looks believable and not half bad. I feel like they're close to making it look realistic. Yeah, for sure. I'm not trying to be a contrarian, but AI has changed my life even financially. I love that shit. Just envision it as your PA to get your real life shit running smoothly. So what happens when that PA has its own intelligence to the point where now it knows every single fact about you, and then it decides to, trip you up or kill you? Obviously, I'm joking, but I'm not. Is it good for AI to know your every move and everything that you do during the day? I don't know. Call me a pessimist once again, but I don't know about all of that, to be honest. Technology should exist to enhance and extend our lives, not take over them. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm with it when it comes to the implementation of AI and all these other things. I think I'm more undecided than anything else, similar to what Rachel is saying, to be honest. It's similar to what she's saying. So yeah, it sets a horrible precedent for the jobs of photographers, stylists, people that are hairdressers, hairstylists, makeup artists, producers, set designers, people that are lighting experts, photographers, videographers. Can AI come in and basically take all these people's jobs and sort of uproot all those industries one by one? And do we actually want that to happen? Do we think that that's a good future to go into? But anyway, going back to the CNN article, something I found really interesting is that H&M is calling these AI clones digital twins, which is what they're exploring as far as their models, and they're still exploring how exactly their digital avatars are going to be used I'm curious to see exactly what the rollout of that will be and what the legality of it will be. I really want to know how that works legally. I'm so curious to know how that works legally because I think it's absolutely and utterly insane that this is happening. And of course, as these companies always do, in a statement, H&M said that they want to carry out this initiative in a responsible way. I'm like, what is responsible about anything that H&M does? Do you know how many human rights violations H&M is guilty of? I do not trust H&M saying they're going to do anything in a responsible way, and I don't expect them to do it in a responsible way because it's H&M. Like, what else do you expect, to be honest? I think sooner or later there will be laws made that protect our own faces as our copyright. Yeah, I totally agree because that Black Mirror episode that I talked about, Joan is Awful, let me actually show you guys. I won't show you the film, obviously, I can't show you that, but I'll just kind of explain to you what was going on. So essentially, there's this actress and she signed. So I think it's supposed to be Netflix, but obviously they couldn't use the word Netflix. So I think they renamed Netflix into like a different show, but it's basically like their makeshift Netflix in Black Mirror. And there was a series called Joan is Awful, and it was basically just following the life of this character here. And basically it was a TV show specifically about all her thoughts and everything she does in a day. So she started losing her job because of it, because people actually started to figure out who she hates, what she thinks, all those kind of things. And the actress didn't agree with her image being used that way. The person whose, life was being toyed with didn't agree with that, but they had no rights. And it's crazy because I think that's where we are heading. Because how exactly are you going to legally fight H&M? Which individual, which model has the power and the resources to fight H&M legally? No one. So you just have to kind of take it. So those models, I wonder if, and I need to look into this for a further stream sometime later, I wonder what the situation is with these twin models in the first place, because the models clearly showed disdain. There was a lot of outrage from models when this news broke initially. So did they tell these models that, oh, we're going to clone your image and we're going to make an AI clone of you, sign this contract? Like, do they know what they're getting themselves into? I hope those models didn't sign that contract. I really hope they didn't, because they are going to be exploited every which way. Yes, and I totally agree. Ownership is a big issue now. The newest tech landscape has me nervous for ownership in general. I don't want to rent everything in my life. I want to own things I buy and do what I want with them. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a big Black Mirror super fan, so I'm going to reference Black Mirror one more time. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, sorry for the spoilers, but oh well. But anyway, in the latest season of Black Mirror, there's an episode where this woman gets into an accident and she has brain damage, and this woman from a company comes up to her husband and is like, oh, we can fix your wife's brain, your partner's brain. All we need to do is just insert this microchip into her brain, and then the AI will kind of connect to all the other parts of her brain, and she'll come out of the coma and she'll be completely fine. But it turns out that it was a subscription model. So she had to pay a certain, I think it was $300 a month to keep her brain working, or she would go brain dead because then the subscription ends. And like every business, what do they do? Just like Netflix, just like any other subscription model, they started to increase the subscriptions one by one. Like, so one time it'll be $300 a month, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, so the $300 a month tier is now our lowest tier. We have like a new tier, which is now $600 a month. And the craziest part about it, which is so funny because it was like basically Netflix. I think it was like a social commentary on Netflix. But so they introduced this new tier, which was $600. And so the basic tier that used to be $300 started to be the ad tier, which is basically what Netflix did, right? Where the lowest tier, they run ads. So what they would do is, because it's in your brain, right? So this woman, the character, she's a teacher, and she was teaching her student, and her student asked her for like advice on something. I can't remember specifically. And the brain chip was running ads through her brain. So she would start giving advice, and then all of a sudden it would run an ad, and she'll be like, and visit the website, something advice. You can use the code for 80% off. And she almost lost her job because parents were complaining about, her recommending stuff to students that they don't agree with. And I was like, that episode is so like, I really hope we don't get there, but I can literally see a world in where people are inserting microchips into people's brains as like a medical fix, but then, that's an issue. And another crazy thing about that episode actually is that she couldn't get sleep because she noticed that she wasn't sleeping properly. Like when she would wake up, she wouldn't feel like she had slept. So she went into the office and was like, why don't I feel like I've slept? And they were like, oh, the reason why you haven't felt like you've slept is because we use your brain to update our system. So while you are asleep, we are using your brain power to help all the other people that have the microchip. So we're just the same way that when they are asleep, we're using their processing power from their brain for your brain. I was like, what world are we living in? But yeah, I really wanted to talk about that because that Black Mirror is so relevant to stuff like this, like, because that is kind of what they do, that sort of dystopian tech thing. But anyway, if you guys haven't watched it, sorry for the spoilers. I've spoiled 2 episodes for you. There are loads more episodes that you can enjoy without my spoilers. But yeah, that's essentially my covering and my thoughts around the AI models and what that means for the future of fashion. I hope that this isn't adopted across the fashion industry. And, I just think it's absolutely insane. I hope people don't sign away their future and their whole life to these kind of things. But yeah, Elle said I left and came back. Yeah, Micah left and came back too. He left. He's like, I'm out. He doesn't want the spoilers. Jamie says, this is already an issue in Hollywood. Extras are being scanned to create digital replicas, and they can reuse these replicas in as many shows or movies as they want. The actor is paid only once. That's absolutely insane, to be honest. That's so insane. That's so insane. Oh gosh, there's also another Black Mirror episode on that, but I won't spoil it for you guys. I've done enough damage. This YouTube channel runs on your support. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive content that includes everything from my Patreon podcast, where I give a behind-the-scenes insight into the fashion industry, as well as a fashion book club, where I review my favorite fashion books. You can also check out my fashion ebook, which highlights the best fashion journalists to follow, definitions of common fashion terminology, and how to determine what a good source of fashion information is. The links to everything are in the description below.